Alright folks, today is going to be an interesting video on pros and cons of being a knife maker. Alright, this is something that I've seen a few other people do-ish. They haven't done it like right, at least in my opinion. They haven't done it right. So I figured I gotta do it right. I gotta list all the pros and cons because it's not all bad and it's not all good. So I want to get into that. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jack Billings. I teach people outdoor skills, survival skills, bushcraft stuff, and most importantly, knife stuff. I also make some pretty cool 100% USA made fixed blade knives on shedknives.com. So I encourage you to check them out, but I'll talk about that later. All right, before we get into pros and cons of being a knife maker, I have a featured comment for today, / featured Shed Knives enthusiast. All right, this is Eric. Eric said on Shed Knives YouTube, so which you're probably watching on now. Eric said, I want you to know, Jack, this US Tanto is one of the very best knives I own. The grip on the handle when pulling out of the sheath is nothing short of incredible. Putting the knife back into the sheath is like butter smooth. I put a different system of securing the sheath and it's great. He did a horizontal carry, that's what it is. Did a horizontal carry on the left side with two little rubber loops, okay, because he's left-handed, so it just works best for him. And he said, what did he say? He said, love the blade, sheath, and the service. Thanks, man, I'm gonna buy more. I think the resilience is the next one. God bless you and Shed Knives. Stay safe and protect the innocent. USA. Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Eric is a consistent viewer of Shed Knives, so thank you very much. And I highlight this today because it just shows the dedication to the people who own Shed Knives, and I think that is fantastic because a lot of people, when they buy a knife, they just get the knife and that is it. There's like no connection to anything whatsoever other than like, I skinned a deer with my knife. Well, that's why you got the knife, okay? For Shed Knives enthusiast, and for me, the maker of Shed Knives, there is a connection. If I didn't have a connection with the people who use the knives, then I probably would not be making YouTube videos because there'd be no purpose for it. I'd find no value in it. And I also think it's pretty cool how there are so many people from around the world who find pretty much the same value. Like they all connect together, and that's why I have all these platforms. If you didn't know, Shed Knives is on, I believe, 11 or 12 platforms where you can go find and connect with other knife enthusiasts. So pretty cool. That sums that up. Thanks, Eric. If you like the US Tanto, you can go to shedknives.com. I'll put a link to that in the description, and the photo on the screen, that's US Tanto. Anyways, pros and cons of being a knife maker. We started the video off very good with a pro. That is definitely a pro. Seeing people find the same value that I do, I think it's really cool because, like, I just featured this in the last video, the Conquest, okay, or at least the last video I recorded, the Conquest. This one, when I first made it in 2021, this is a 2023 version, at least 2023 blank, because obviously it's not completed. I thought, I was like, you know what, this is kind of a wonky design, okay, like, it's sort of an odd design. This part is thin, people say it's very thin, but look at how thick that knife is. It's just got an odd design in the hand here. It's for the thumb. Also this big like sweeping point down. By the way, this is not something I'm selling. This is literally a just general design for me because the grind's off. You see that grind? I'm not selling that. So anyways, just had to throw that out there. But it kind of comes down to this point weird. It's a very odd knife. Let's just be real. It's a very odd knife, okay? But I thought it was cool. I thought it was neat. And a lot of people find it cool too. So that is definitely a pro when other people see the work and are like, man, I can connect with this too. All right. Let's see. What else? This is kind of good. This is good in the long run, but really bad for like the short term for today. It's just a pain, okay? And that is being a knife maker, there's always a never-ending need for just stuff. Stuff being machines and materials. You cannot have enough. All right. Even though I have a stack of G10 here, I have knife blanks in one of those drawers, at least one of those drawers. They will all disappear shortly. And that it's good. It's really good. But there's just a constant flow. You always just run through stuff. And the machines, I thought when I first started knives in 2018, I was like, oh, by 2020, I should be all set. Wrong. I've added more machines in the past 2 years than ever. And it's crazy. And the thing is, I started with 3 machines. Those 3 machines were an angle grinder to cut out my knives, a bench grinder to grind my knives, and a palm sander to finish my knives. Somehow I made it happen. But now there's so many I can't even count, and I'm very thankful. I'm very blessed to have that, and very appreciative. So that's why it's great for the long term, but for the short term, when you have a ton of things stacked up, like those scales over there, you can't see them, but there's a gazillion scales, okay? And I'm on the belt stand, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is so slow, what's better? Oh, CNC machine. Well, now I have a CNC machine. This took 2 years, all right? No, 3 years. This took a while, but it happened because patience and consistency, very important. All right, so it's just kind of a pain because when you realize that there's something better out there, it's like, oh my gosh, everything just feels slower, okay? It's kind of maybe some of you can connect to this, I don't know. I tend to find these differences in machines and mechanical things a lot more than other people, so maybe this doesn't make sense to some, but when you drive a brand new car, you see all these features and it's really cool, it's awesome, and then you get back in your car and it's what in the world? It's you didn't think anything was missing, but now a ton of stuff is missing because you experienced something new. Same thing with this. I should stay off of YouTube when it comes to looking for knife machines, because every time I find one, I realize, oh my goodness, I'm doing this so slow. So pro and con for the short term, pro long term. All right, see, something else that's really good, okay? It's the discipline that I get from being a knife maker. Not every knife maker can say that, by the way. This is only for the few, the proud, okay? Not everyone can say this, but there is a discipline with making knives, all right? And it's an ever-growing discipline. Discipline as in to show up consistently, to show up when you don't want to show up when you want to stay the same amount of time that you promised yourself and those around you. It can be very tough. It's like showing up to your job. There are days where you're actually looking forward to it because maybe you have a friend there or you just are looking forward to this event, whatever it is. And then there are also quite a few days where you do not want to be there at all. You would rather be anywhere else except there, okay? And that is the truth for some days with me. Some days I have so much on the plate. I'm like, if I could be anywhere but here, that would be fantastic. But guess what? Stuff has to get done. Knives have to be made. I'm a knife maker. I'm a knife seller. I have to do both of those things, not just one, not just the other. All right? So being disciplined, having a routine, having a schedule, that is probably the biggest pro, okay, of being a knife maker. And it's not just for knives, by the way. You can grow that discipline through many other ways, just like that job I was talking about. You will become very disciplined by showing up when you don't want to and showing up when you want to. So the discipline, that's a big one there, okay? And I have a little quote here. I forget exactly who it's by, so please, I'm sorry if someone knows, drop it down in the comments. I'll pin it, okay? But the guy pretty much said, like, set a goal, not because of the goal, but for what it will make of you, okay? I make knives, not because I have like the largest burning desire to make knives the world has ever seen. That is not true, okay? That is not, I don't have the largest or biggest burning desire to make knives, okay? However, I make knives and do what I do because of what it will make of me, okay? If one day the world decides, you know what, we don't like shed knives, guess what? That's okay. That's fine. It made me a better person. All right. It made me the development through that. It really made me grow, and that is even more valuable than whatever comes from the goal, whatever comes from achieving. It's from what it will make of you. All right. Let's see what else. What else? Okay. USA production. Let's talk about that. USA production is definitely a pro. Until you see like what's going on overseas. It's still a pro, it's still a big pro, but when you get into the numbers portion of it, it kind of hurts your head a little bit, okay? For example, USA steel is expensive. I don't think it's expensive, but compared to Chinese or Taiwan steel, which is like 3 times cheaper, 4 times cheaper, USA steel, very expensive. So and a price standpoint or number standpoint, con. However, USA production is a massive pro, and it is because it supports working class American citizens. Okay, supports my brothers and sisters here in the US, supports USA companies, supports other business owners. Okay, supports families, the children, supports them all. When you send your money, I talked about this in a recent video, when you send your money overseas to a company that makes Taiwan knives, Chinese knives, specifically Chinese. I talk about Taiwan, but really I'm referencing the quality of it, okay? When you send your money to China, all right, guess what's happening? You are sending your money to companies who exploit children and use their labor, and they work them to death, quite literally, by the way, all right? That is what's happening when you send your money overseas, okay? And I could paint a very cool picture of, well, you're saving $1. You're putting $1 away, you're getting, it's not as bad because you can always replace it, it's that cheap. Well, guess what? You can't replace the lives that are being spent on what you are buying. Someone had to say it. Okay, we're here in the US. We have some pretty strict labor laws. That's why stuff is expensive. Because you got to pay money somehow to enforce those laws. Okay, someone's got to pay for those people. And at the end of the day, we do. Just the benefits, though. The benefits, who you support, what you do. You know, when I call the people I get my steel from, they know me. I know them. They're real people. They're genuine people who have families. This isn't some big business scheme that's going to the pockets of billionaires or whoever. That's not what's happening, okay? You're supporting small businesses, okay? You're supporting families. When you send your money over, last point about this, when you send your money overseas to China, what you're doing, you're supporting big government, because all those companies are, the big ones by the way, are funded by and they're supported by the Chinese government. Here in the US isn't like supporting and working side by side with every single business. That's not the case. Okay, sure we pay taxes, but that's about it for side by side working. Okay, so I just had to throw that out. All right, the price portion is a con, definitely looking at that, but my goodness, the benefits of working with American companies, big pro. All right, so really that's that. Those are the main points. Okay, those are the main points. I'm trying to think of what else, because those are the main ones. But it's just constant progress, folks. It's just constant progress, little bits of progress. And I thought about doing a video on bits of progress, so I'll talk about it now, and if you want to see more later, then I guess I'll do that. But bits of progress, that's what's going on in the shop. That's another pro, bits of progress, okay? And with how you can implement that, or what that means for me at least, is just small daily tasks, small daily activities that benefit tomorrow, that benefit you today. Just small little things that contribute to your future. Let's take it from an outdoor perspective. Let's just say you are going to be stuck in a survival situation. Let's just say that. It is going to happen. All right? Two people. It's going to happen to two people. One person knows a few knots. Cool. They know the square knot. They maybe know the bow line if they really tried. They could attempt a clove hitch. There's that person. Then there's the person who had bits of progress every day. They learned one knot every day. Or at least they tied one knot. They didn't even go back to it. They just tied one knot every day. A different knot every day. Every day of the year. Whether it's Christmas, whether it's Easter, whether it's their birthday. They tied a knot every single day. At least me, I'd assume that the person who ties a knot every single day will perform better in the knot tying field when it comes to a survival situation. They will know at least 5 knots. Okay? At least 5. I assume they'd know at least 5. Where the other person, they kind of practice, but they didn't really. But when they felt like it, they did a ton. That person probably is not going to do well in that particular field. Now we can evaluate all different areas. The person who knows all the knots, maybe they know nothing else, but still, at least they know some knots. All right. The core message of that, though, is that daily progress, daily bits of progress, that is very important. It's important for Shed Knives. It's important for my personal life, and it's important for your personal life too. You can interpret that in an outdoor perspective of, I like knives, so I should learn knife stuff every day, every week, every month. I should learn that so I can become more educated. Well, guess what? Great. Now you're going to become more educated and more disciplined if you stick with that. I also provide, just throwing this out there, I provide knife resources, outdoor resources on over 10 platforms. You can check that out in the description of this video. I've got all the links to them. So if you want to learn, you can go down there. But maybe it's your personal life, okay? Maybe you want to exercise. Maybe you kind of do, but you kind of don't, okay? Well, bits of progress every day. Maybe you walk a mile every single day. Maybe you go to the gym for 30 minutes. 30 minutes, that's it. 15 minutes. Just bits of progress. Or maybe today, I'll give the last example of this. Today, there's a guy I listen to, all right? And his name is Hamza. He is in Britain, a British improvement guy, self-improvement guy, okay? And he started his journey through improving himself and getting out of bad habits with one push-up. That is it, one push-up. He thought, you know what? I didn't do a push-up yesterday or really any of the days before. So today, I'm going to do one push-up. That is it. I'm going to work out for 1 second. One quality push-up. And then the next day, he said, I'm going to do 2 seconds of exercise, 2 push-ups. And he just built upon it, little small bits. One push-up is not much, okay? Unless you've never done it before. Then that's a big step. That's a lot of progress, okay? And when we continue to add on that every single day, outdoor realm, you want to learn hunting, okay? You learn a little bit each day. My friend is getting his hunting license. Guess what? He's learning a little bit each day. That is long-term progress. That is long-term improvement. A lot of companies do not talk about this stuff. They do not. They simply sell knives, get them out the door. Hey, China, we need more knives. That is what they do. Shed Knives and Jack Billings, I do not do that. Okay? I say it how it is. And most importantly, I'm looking out for both you and me. Trying to improve ourselves in many realms, not just the outdoor realm, not just our personal lives, but in all realms, okay? So, why does that matter? Why does that matter? We started the video, I have the list here. We started the video, pros and cons of being a knife maker. And now we get to this. Why is all of this important? Okay, why are we still watching? Well, why is it important? Well, because small bits of progress, small things we learn every day, like this video, you're learning something new. You learn what it's like to be a knife maker, pros and cons, good and bad of it, okay? You learn something new. Great, little bit of progress. And together, the Shed Knives movement, we are all making little bits of progress in different areas of our lives, different areas of the world, okay? Every single day, all together. And the more the Shed Knives movement grows, the better we are together, the better we are for ourselves, and the better we are for the world. Okay, I want to pull up that comment from Eric earlier. Okay, the last thing right before he said USA. Stay safe and protect the innocent. How do we do that? How can we protect the innocent? I was thinking about that this morning. What are some ways? What does he even mean by that? Okay, I don't need to go ask specifically because it makes sense. Okay. But still, how do you do that? By making small bits of progress. Okay, how do you protect the innocent in a survival situation? Well, because you practiced, you know survival skills, you know how to tie 5 knots, you know how to build a lean-to, you know how to start a campfire, you know how to use a ferro rod, okay? You know to have a ferro rod in your backpack. You know what type of backpack to carry. You see what I'm getting at here? I could go on and on and on and on because I've lived outdoor stuff, outdoor skills for so many years. Why? Because bits of progress. So when that survival situation happens, just like we'll bring the presidents into this. People say every president has their test. They have their test that really kind of proves where they are, okay? We'll start here and work back for Joe Biden. Right now, there's several wars going on, okay? That's his test. For Donald Trump, it was COVID. That happened under his administration. That was his test, okay? George Washington, go all the way back. George Washington, founding America, getting everyone together. Of course, it wasn't just him, but he had a test, okay? All these people have tests. Guess what? We're going to have a test too. Maybe you had a test. Some of the viewers here are in their 70s and 80s. They're not young people like me. I'm 19, all right? There are people that have already had their test, whatever that was. Maybe it was outside, maybe it was in somewhere else, okay? But they had a test. And if they're still here today and they're doing well, guess what? Then that means they probably prepared the right way. They prepared the right way because they made bits of progress. And this video kind of turned into the video of bits of progress. So great. If I need to do more analysis and deep dives on it, then I guess I will. Please let me know. But bits of progress. We get some, I'm actually gonna throw that in the title, bits of progress. Okay, because this is important. Pro of knife making. Bits of progress. Every little thing is a bit of progress. Every knife. I've got knives. This is a knife. As you see, this is a knife. This is a 2022 spear point. Okay? Bits of progress. This was my grind. Look, can you even see it? This was my grind that I was working on until I got this. I built, by the way, this thing. Well, that's not the original one, but the original one I built myself, every bit and piece, to put new grinds on knives. Well, I tested it here to show bits of progress. Okay, I have another one. If I can get it. We have a lot of knives. Rope handles, 550 cord. Okay, 550 cord handles. Now, G10. I didn't even know what G10 was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I had no clue what G10 was. All right, bits of progress. Oh my goodness, that was fantastic, my friends. Fantastic. Okay, if you like knives, If you want to support Shed Knives in some way, there's two ways to do it, okay? Number one, you can go to shedknives.com, pick out 2023 model, because 2023 models are coming to a close sooner than later to make room for the 2024s, all right? So you can support that way, get a blade. If it's not the right time for you or you want to support a different way, I have a link to Buy Me a Coffee. That's what it's called. You're not actually buying me a Starbucks drink or something from Dunkin' Donuts. It's just what it's called. And you support Shed Knives Media, Shed Knives Resources, $5 at a time. You can pick however many coffees you want to support with, and that helps produce better and better content and resources and information for you. So those are the two ways to support Shed Knives. You can also like, share. If you enjoy this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you know someone who may enjoy this video just as much as you did, maybe even more, you can go hit the share button. And last thing, my friends, if you support 100% USA knife manufacturers like Shed Knives, okay, if you support the mission, if you want to join the movement, all you have to do, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. You can now join over 900. At this point, we're 940, I think 943, 950. Could be wrong. But over 900 Shed Knives enthusiasts already, so you can join this awesome group. And I welcome you to it. Thank you all for watching. My name's Jack. I make knives. I'll see you in the next one.